Welcome to What's in the Pot. I'm your host Sean Grande, and today we are making pigeon peas and rice, or some people call it Arroz Gandules. It's What's in the Pot. So the first thing for the Arroz Gandules is we're going to start with 1 teaspoon of garlic. You can use fresh garlic or minced garlic you get in the bottle. I'm using about 1/4 cup of white onions. You can use any kind of onions you like. It's really up to you, but you want to let the onions and the garlic saute on a medium-low heat for a couple minutes. It's been sauteing for a few minutes. I'm adding a green seasoning mixture. Now with Arroz Gandules, some people would use their own sofrito. Now this is shadow beni green seasoning. I also have some fresh cilantro and a little bit of thyme, and I'm using the frozen shadow beni green seasoning. Just everything blended up with the onions, and we're just gonna mix that in. After a couple minutes, we're gonna add about 1/2 cup roughly of chopped sweet peppers, and you can use any kind of sweet peppers. I'm using the red, yellow, and the orange, but you can use green. It doesn't really matter. You want to let that cook up for a few minutes, and that's gonna bring out a lot of flavor for when we add the rice. After those have been sauteing, we're gonna add some of this ricotta seasoning. Now this is a culantro, and so culantro and cilantro base. I'm adding about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more than a teaspoon. It adds more of a green onion flavor or a green seasoning flavor as well. And you want to let that seasoning cook in with the veggies. Again, we want to let everything, bring out its flavor. Let it on a light saute. Let everything, all the flavors come out, because once we add our rice, it's going to absorb all these flavors. Now I'm adding 1 12-ounce can of pigeon peas or gandules. Now these beans, you can use the green ones or the brown ones. I prefer the green ones if you're making pilau or if you're making arroz gandules or pigeon peas and rice. It just cooks up nicer. So you want to let everything saute together now, so the beans are going to take the flavor of all the veggies we've been sauteing. Now once that's been sauteing, I'm going to add a seasoning packet of Iberia seasoning. Now you can use the Iberia Sazon seasoning or the Goya Sazon seasoning. It's really up to you. I'm also going to add a teaspoon, about maybe a little bit more, of adobo. Now you can use any kind of brand of adobo seasoning. I'm personally using the Badia one today. So we're going to change it up from the typical ingredients. We're going to add some of that Chief brand cook-up seasoning. I got this from Kalu Box. This is a great seasoning to add if you're making pilau, if you're making pigeon peas and rice and beans, anything like that. Now I'm going to add about a teaspoon of the pimento seasoning from Bertie's. The pimento gives a nice flavor, not too strong, it's not hot, and some of that Badia all-purpose seasoning. I use this pretty much in everything. You should get yourself a bottle if you can. So with all our ingredients in the pot now, what's in the pot? We're going to be cooking everything up, and we want to get all those flavors now mixed in with the pigeon peas before we go ahead and add the rice. So you're going to let that cook maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. Let that simmer, let all the flavors kind of cook in there. Get that into the pigeon peas, and then we're going to go ahead and add the rice. I'm adding 2 cups of parboiled rice. I personally prefer to use parboiled rice for everything. So I'm using parboiled rice, and I'm adding 2 cups, and we're gonna let that rice cook in, and we're gonna make sure all the flavors coat the rice. So all the rice is gonna get coated with all that seasoning, all the juices from all the vegetables, everything coated in together. Once we've coated the rice completely with all the seasonings, we're gonna let that cook for about 5 minutes. So now I'm going to add 2 cups of vegetable stock. You can use chicken stock or beef stock. Then we're going to add about 1 cup of water. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix this up and see if I need more water. You don't want to put too much water, because then the rice will get too soggy. It's always easier to add more water while the rice is cooking when it starts to dry down. I think I'm going to add about 1 more cup of water, because you want to have enough water just to cover the rice. So we're going to go ahead and add 1 more cup of water. So that's 2 cups of water and 2 cups of any kind of vegetable or beef or chicken stock you want to use. Now after about 30 minutes, once we put the lid on it, you're going to take it off, and you're going to see that beautiful pigeon peas and rice. Now there you have it. Very simple, very easy to use. Now when you're making it, after you put the lid on it, check it periodically, because you want to make sure it doesn't dry up, and if you need to add more water, you can see all the rice grains are cooked perfectly, the peas are cooked perfectly. Man, this is one dish perfect to make as a side dish or just eat it by itself. It's absolutely amazing. It's what's in the pot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you. Till next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell if you're on YouTube so you get notifications for when our next video drops. It's your host, Sean Grande, and thank you for tuning in to What's in the Pot. Peace.